Hi, and welcome to the Crit Hit Wild podcast, where we cover all things Marvel Crisis Protocol, and we do a new character every week. This week, we're going to be talking about Luke Cage, and I'm your host, Fred.
I'm Brad.
I'm Steven.
And I'm Bryce.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Bryce, one of our local tournament organizers. He's an excellent member of the community, and he's here to talk about a character in his roster. Hey, how is everyone doing? How are you doing, Bryce?
I'm good, Fred. I'm good. Enjoyed the tournament yesterday, and I'm happy to be on today.
Glad to have you. Brad, how are you doing?
I'm doing A-okay.
I'm glad to hear it. Steven, how's it going for you?
I'm painting right now as we do this podcast, so if I have any stops, please forgive me. And how are you doing, Fred?
Oh, I'm surviving. I had a long night. We drove to Ravenna yesterday, and we drove back that night, and we ate at an omelet shop in Parkersburg, and it was delicious, and I love omelet shop, and I had heartburn all night, so I did not sleep well. Oh well, that.
That is rough and tough, Fred.
Yeah, that is my bad stomach issues. So anyway, I'm doing okay. Well, all right. Speaking of tournaments, we have a lot to discuss today. First off, I want to say thank you to everyone for being patient. We didn't have an episode yet last week. I had a headache, and we were kind of in a holding pattern, waiting for an announcement from AMG. So we just sort of decided not to do an episode, just waiting to see what they say next. Because if we did a character, they may change before the episode even comes out. But that didn't happen. In fact, what happened is they put out a press release saying that the update is coming in August instead of in July. And it was literally the same press release, just with the months changed. It was the same wording. So, yeah. Let's discuss this, because this is something that a lot of people are going to be talking about in the community. What do you guys think about this? I'll give my take first. I'm a little frustrated. I want them to get this right. They have a tendency to put models out and then nerf them later if it like has an outdo influence on the game. So I like that they're taking their time to make sure this is correct and not breaking the game in some way. And this is a huge update. They're changing almost every character in the game. However, I want them to communicate better than they've been communicating. Like, this has been now 2 months of delay that from what they initially said that it would be a June release, and now they're saying it's August. And they have put out 2 total press releases. What do you guys think about this? What do you think about this, Brad?
It sucks. But they're a small company. Yeah. Like, I understand that it's hard to get things done with a small team, but I want the update.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be so bad if during this time we've been waiting for the update, we got some like panels to play and some announcements for new models coming out, but everything's been just repacks. So we've got no new toys.
They put out the terrain piece with the big Shoggoth monster, whose name I forget.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, so who cares?
Like, it's a cool piece, and it's going to have one-shot cards, so that is rules. But, like, I can't play that right now. If they had given me multiple man's rules by now, I have a painted 3D print that I'm looking at right now that I could put on the table and play and have something new.
Yep. Have some fun with the new toy that they give you and feel really good about your relationship with AMG.
Yes.
They need to do something. They give us something, AMG. Give us some toys to play with. What are your thoughts, Bryce? What are your thoughts on this situation?
Yeah, I tend to agree. Disappointing is probably the word that I would use. I definitely think a lot of us were hoping and anticipating that we would have this before the Ravenna event. Only since, the initial update was supposed to be in June. There were some people that theorized it was actually supposed to be back in March for Adepticon. So if you're in that camp, you've been waiting almost 6 months now for it. So it's just, yeah, it's really disappointing. Their communication has fallen off in a way that is very scary in terms of like being a small company because yeah, they don't have the same kind of goodwill that sometimes GW kind of buys themselves for Warhammer players. So being a smaller company, it might turn some people off, it might turn some people away from the game, and that's a scary, scary thought. I hope that when they do the updates, it really does make the game feel refreshed again, and it brings a lot of people back. But I think a lot of people have kind of switched away from the game, at least until these updates come out.
Yeah, in a way, this update is kind of putting a big anchor on the community right now, and we're all afraid to make big changes to our roster. We're all afraid to try new things because what if the new thing we try is going to change in a major way that we are not aware of? I'm going to speak from my own perspective here. I am very strongly considering changing the affiliation that I play. But I'm not going to do that until this update happens. I probably will. We'll see. But I am not immediately changing, which I would be, if this update were out. Like I am stuck in a holding pattern, and that doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good to be stuck in a holding pattern. Steven, I want to let you have a chance to speak.
Well, I understand your frustration, disappointment, and lack of anything new on the horizon. However, I'm taking a little bit of a positive bend to this, and it actually gives me an opportunity to one, like I'm doing right now, painting some models that might not be the most played in anticipation of the fact that they will get an update and they might be playable in the future. So my pile of opportunity is slowly shrinking. So
Okay.
Oh yeah,
So you're taking that's a healthy way to look at it. You're like taking this as an opportunity to do things that you otherwise would not have done. It lets you play models that's a healthy way to look at this. I'm not as healthy.
well, look
I
at it
will
this way.
say the game is in a fantastic state. So I think that's a great thing to do right now, Stephen. I've actually been playing Thralls of Dracula locally, and I'm having a great time with them, playing some models that nobody else plays, and it's been a fantastic time.
Great.
That
I mean, everybody has the Shang-Chi Silver Sable box, and Shang-Chi is painted or put together, and Sable is not. So, my
guilty.
challenge to the
Mine
community,
mine
and
was the other way for a while. I put
my challenge to the community is bring out Silver Sable and either put her together and see what she does, or get her painted up.
Okay, I may do this. I may do that. I may put her in a list.
You gonna paint her up, Fred?
Yeah, sure. I want to address a few things that I think Bryce made some very good points. Bryce, uh, the game is in a great spot. The game plays great. The new crises are fun. They're interesting. They change the way that the game plays, mostly in a positive direction, in my opinion. I think that things are looking up right now for the game. And anything that we say negative about this circumstance where we find ourselves, where they're trying to update all the characters, take with a grain of salt, because I still love this game. I still continue to play this game. I look forward to playing this game every time I do it. It is still a great game. I also think that Bryce brought up a good point that this is a small team that's in charge of everything. It is and we need to look at this in the context with the Shatterpoint thing that happened recently, where they are taking their foot off the gas of the Shatterpoint models that are coming out, where they put out a press release saying that they're not abandoning Shatterpoint, but they are not going to have as many new models coming out. It is not going to be the focus of their attention because their attention is limited. They are a small team. They are a limited team, and things are tough right now. Everything's more expensive, and they are having to fight for their own survival. So I recognize those difficulties that they're facing, and yeah, I guess that's the context that I wanted to add. Okay, and does anyone have anything they would like to add before we move to a new segment?
Well, with the new crisis changes, there are some characters out there, I believe, that are actually going to see a rise in their playability.
Do you have an example?
People who...
I'm specifically looking at Colossus.
Colossus is great.
Because things tend to be a little bit tighter now.
I think any model with a place, I think, is fantastic in this current environment. I know Tom talked about it the last time he was on, but Ronin, I think, is a fantastic model. I think he's being largely underplayed right now. I think Hawkeye is another one that I think is also really great.
That's the one I was going to say. I saw him played in a game yesterday, and he seems great.
Yeah, he really does. Ronin, as in with an I. Ronin.
Oh,
Ronin.
I was talking about Hawkeye.
Oh.
Hawkeye was great.
Yes, play Clint Barton. Clint Barton is good.
Yes. All right. Well, okay. All that being said, let's start talking about something else. Let's talk about upcoming events. So we did just participate in the App Cup tournament at Ravenna, Ohio. The next large event to call out, I don't know of any more in July. Bryce, do you have an event coming up in July you want to call out?
We do, yeah. So at the Fabricators Forge in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, technically Coraopolis, but it's outside Pittsburgh, we're having our monthly event on Saturday, July 25th. As of right now, I think there's only a couple people signed up. It'll probably be another small local event for us. But if you're in that area, that region, want to come out and get some games, we have some great players, always a great time. But yeah, Saturday, July 25th.
There you go. That's the first one, July 25th. Then coming up on... oh, yes?
Next Saturday is our local tournament.
on July 18th. Okay.
Yes.
July 18th at Lost Legion Games and Comics in South Charleston, West Virginia. Come by, have fun, play some games. I will be there, as will Brad. And we'll see who else attends. Yeah. Okay. August 8th. That is Saturday, August 8th. There is a tournament in Farmington, Utah, at the Utah Cup. This is a big event. If you are in the area, please come by. Please attend. It will be fun. Then on August 29th, there is the next Appalachian Cup tournament at Old School Games in Toledo, Ohio. This is the Daniels event. Daniel's a great player, a great member of our community, and I won't be attending because I suck. One of these days, I'm going to make this drive to Toledo. It's just it's more than 5 hours. It's quite a drive to make. So
you have no excuse. I drive 9 hours to your tournament.
I know. That's why it's not okay for me not to attend this. I will attend it in the future, just not this time. It will not be this time.
But the caveat is that's me going home to Cleveland. So
yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah. You're on your way somewhere else.
Also on August 8th is a tournament at Mischief's Den in something, Virginia. What city were we in, Fred?
Good question. What was that? Harrisburg.
Harrisburg.
Yeah.
At Mischief's Den. The last one was a lot of fun. I am very, very likely to make this one.
I will also likely make it. I need to get my Easy Pass. I need to get that sorted out.
Oh, yeah, that'll make it a lot easier for us to go.
Yeah. If I get that Easy Pass sorted out, this will be a regular thing. All right. Okay. That's neither here nor there. Let's move on to games that we have played recently. So, myself, Brad, and Bryce all attended a tournament in Ravenna, Ohio. It is the Appalachian Cup qualifying event, and we had a ton of fun. It was a great space. The space was called Battlegrounds. I really liked the area. It was hard to find. It's kind of like off the side on a gravel parking lot, but you get there and you go inside and it's this really great space with a ton of product and a lot of space for tables. It is a fun area. They had food for us, which was good. I enjoyed the food. They had that was a wonderful event, well run, and in a good space. I was very happy with everything that happened. Do we want to just hop right into the games? I guess we probably should. Okay. All right. So my round one, I played against a gentleman named Zach, and we were playing on Scrolls and Guardians Save Shi'ar Empress. I was playing Inhumans, and Zach was playing Apocalypse. We were playing at 17 threat. So at 17 threat, I played Maximus the Mad. I played Ronan the Accuser, not the good Ronan, the bad Ronan. I played Gorgon. And what does that put me? That right there is 11. So I played 2 more models. Ronan, Baron Zemo, and Crystal were my models. Crystal would have been Karnak, probably, but my Karnak model is missing, so I need to track that down. My guess is it is in Memphis' stuff, but I'll find it. I'll find him. This game was a lot of fun. Zach played Apocalypse. He played Toad. He played Beast, Magic, and one more model. He had the full roster. And
Deadpool?
Nope. It was
Gambit?
Gambit.
It was Gambit. That's correct. It was Gambit. Gambit was Famine, and Magic was War.
Yeah.
So this was a classic attrition battle. I had Ronan take the middle. Very early, he went up and grabbed the far middle, his side middle scroll, and Crystal took my side middle scroll and then ran away. Ronan is such a good bully that your opponent does not want to attack him. So I love throwing him up into the middle, and the moment that they make attacks against him, he just judges everybody. Judgment. And if they daze him, he walks up and hits them and does a lot of damage before he is taken out. He managed to take 2 hits from Apocalypse and not die, which is pretty impressive. So what ended up happening is he took some hits in round 1 and did not die and put Judgment on Apocalypse. Most of Apocalypse's team went onto my left. I guess Gambit went over to my right, and the fight was really happening on my left-hand side. I got some lucky hits in. A few things went very much my way early on in this game that helped me to pull out a victory here. I dazed Beast, I think, in 1 attack. Like, I did a 1 attack daze of Beast with Gorgon. Just real lucky dice. And then Ronan the Accuser, at the very top of round 2, attacks Apocalypse, pushes him back, and then makes his way towards the left-hand side away from Apocalypse. And is Ronan the Accuser, I said he was bad. he did great this game. He was really a clutch model to have. He is a good bully. I like him for 4 threat. Anyway, my opponent fails a couple pay to flips on Guardian Save Shi'ar Empress, and those couple of fails and a good Terrigenesis from me mean that I won this game 17-15. That is 2 points. That's Terrigenesis. In fact, had I not Terrigenesis, it's like a 3-point swing. So I would have lost this game had Terrigenesis not happened. But hey, that's the tool that I have access to, Terrigenesis. I win my first round. Thank you. All right. Brad, why don't you tell us about your first round?
I played Mac from the Pittsburgh area, and we had played this exact same matchup at the Pittsburgh qualifier. He was playing Sam Wilson Avengers, and I was playing Sentinels. We got Sentinel schematics and lockdown. I remember Sentinel schematics was his. I had won the role, and he pulled lockdown. And I looked at the 2 things. One was scientific samples. That's the other choice I had. I looked at them, and I realized that the Sentinel schematics would be very close to those lockdown points. So I chose that one. And lockdown is great for the Sentinels because it's close enough and you can be farther from the points that they don't really need to move. And when they do need to move, Bastion and Nimrod can teleport between the 2 points because of that range 2 to contest. We played 17 threat. I played Bastion, 2 Mark IVs, and Nimrod. He played Sam, obviously. He had a Beta Ray Bill, Moondragon with the Mind Stone, Toad, and someone else I killed very quickly. Oh, no, it wasn't. It was Black Panther. That's not someone I killed quickly. We both got 4 points on the first turn. We just got the stuff on our side. The second turn, he got all the points on my right side, and I got all the points on his left side because Nimrod dazed Moondragon and maybe also dazed Toad. And I think a Sentinel ended up pulling Black Panther off of a point. So I ended up getting 4 points to his 3. It had to have been because we could not have gotten 4 and 4. And then the next round is when, despite that being pretty good attrition for me, the next rounds where attrition really hit hard. I end up killing Moondragon with Nimrod. My Sentinel survived on 1 health from Black Panther because of Bryce. And then I got to patch him up for 5. So he was chilling after that. I either dazed or KO'd Toad. I think I dazed Sam and dazed... No, I couldn't have dazed all these people. At some point... No, I think Sam was fine the whole time. I think I dazed Beta Ray Bill turn 4, which is when I won. It was it was just one of those things where attrition just went too fast on this closer map than last time. When we played last time, we were on Infinity Formula, so it was a lot wider, and I couldn't go from side to side. In this one, and he went heavily on one side. On this one, he went a lot more even, and there was side-to-side movement, mostly with his people. because they're just faster. But I had enough good dice attrition to just whittle him down to where it was very hard for him to even have the chance to outscore me on scenario. He just didn't have enough models left. And I win 16-11.
All right, good job, Brad. Spoiler, I play Mac later in the tournament, and he played the exact same thing into me. So it's interesting. All right, Bryce, how did your first round go?
So my first round was good. I played against Josh. I think Heat. He's from Akron. He's one of the Akron locals with Chance and Mac and them. I played him, I think, once before. And he is, a Brotherhood specialist, I think, through and through at this point. I think he's played Brotherhood more times, I think, than just about anybody locally, maybe even you, Brad, because
Yes,
I mean, it's all
he has played Brotherhood more than me, for sure.
Yeah. So for this event, I brought a Avengers list that was primarily based around Captain America: First Avenger, which is what I played the last event, but it was also sort of a Sam list, but like sort of not. But that didn't work as well. So I said for this event, I'm just gonna go in, I'm just gonna throw dice, and we'll see what happens. So Josh and I played on Scrolls and Survivors on 20 Threat. Survivors being the new triangle one. I call it Fixed Demons. And we played no choice. It was only at 20 threat. Josh played Magneto, Emma Frost, Rogue, Toad, and Sentinel Mark IV. And I played First Avenger, Gambit, King T, and then Nick Fury Jr. and Shang-Chi. A lot of people play like Cyclops or like Doc Ock, Sinister Scientist in that 4 threat spot for like that additional leadership for like reserve members shenanigans with Gambit. But I like Nick Fury just because of the health update and the grunts help you keep scoring parity. And that kind of worked out to be in my favor because the grunts were able to grab it injected. They were able to run away with it and hide while Fury was able to sit on a couple of points. And we kept it pretty close throughout, I would say, the first 2 rounds. And then Gambit did Gambit things. I think he dazed or KO'd 3 models this game, including like Emma, Toad, with an enhanced agility, and Sentinel Mark IV. So Gambit was doing just Gambit things. And I just was able to kind of run up the scoring before the attrition could really get a hold with Magneto. And I wound up winning this game 16-8, despite Magneto dazing and KOing King T by round 4. So King T was off the board, but Gambit kind of put the game on his back a little bit and helped me out there. It also didn't help that Emma shattered on her spender twice and failed to daze either First Avenger or Gambit twice back to back. So that was just kind of backbreaking for the attrition for Josh, while my attrition did what I needed it to do. So, 16-8, I think, was the final score.
Okay. Well done. That's a heartbreaker when someone does their spender twice into a relevant model and fails to get the result that they needed. Doesn't that suck, Bryce? Doesn't that suck?
Yeah, it does. It does. I think that was kind of the theme of my day.
All right. Well, congratulations, Bryce, on winning your round 1. Let's talk about round 2. Bryce, I know that you played against a real fucking asshole in round 2, didn't you? Isn't that the case?
I played against some guy who like really likes Terrigenesis and like I don't know what we can say about that.
Yes.
Fred and I always have great games, so we played in round 2.
We did. We played on Spider Infected and on Safe Shelter. That's the same. It's Fixed Demons at 20 threat. At 20 threat, I played a Maximus the Mad. I played Medusa. No, wait, was it Medusa? Yes, it was Medusa. Gorgon, Baron Zemo, and then I brought King Black Bolt. I keep wanting to say King T'Challa. I brought King Black Bolt. And then I saw what I was up against. Bryce, what did you play?
Yeah, so I played something really weird because my preferred 20 is having that 12-point core with two fours. But Nick Fury on Terra Genesis with the grunts is just 3 points for Fred, and then Shang-Chi just gets absolutely melted by King Black Bolt and Maximus, so there was just not really much of a point to playing pick either of those two. So I did something really weird, and I put Hulk on the table with Okoye and King T, Gambit, and First Avenger. This is probably the first time I played Hulk in a minute, but I think wound up being the right call. What do you say, Fred?
It was absolutely the correct call. Guys, Hulk is still really good. Hulk is a great model. This game plays out. I would definitely have not brought King Black Bolt had I known that Hulk was going to be hitting the table. I would have brought some other tricks and traps. But here's what I had. I went in with Gorgon and with King Black Bolt on my left side, and they ended up squared up against a Hulk and First Avenger, and everyone else was on the right side with the 2 points instead of the 1 point, and we just beat on each other. Gambit did the Lord's work, basically. Gambit, I think, dazed 2 models in one activation. He did a lot of damage in one activation, I remember.
Yeah, he dazed Baron, Zemo, and I think Medusa in the same activation.
Yeah.
And that shouldn't happen. Medusa, I mean, I think Medusa already had some damage on her when I dazed her, but like Gambit is not good into Medusa because of the no mods. So that was just straight dice.
Yep. And on the left-hand side, King Black Bolt was doing what he could. He wasn't being useless, but Gorgon went in on Hulk, hit him a few times, and then got thrown against the back wall and dazed quite badly. Hulk just like slapped him and he went down, which is correct. I mean, he's Hulk versus Gorgon. But in round 3, I pick up Gorgon, and Gorgon says, I'm going to go after Hulk with all this power that I'm sitting on. And he charges in, he does his spender, and then he does his spender again. And I'm trying to fish out a wild on 2 8-dice attacks with the leadership reroll and the inhuman reroll on the first one, and just an inhuman reroll on the second. And I got 0 wilds. I got no wilds. Had I staggered Hulk, I think that I would at least be in a position to be competitive in this game. But I do not. I end up just putting a ton of damage. I don't even think I did much damage. I think I did like 2 or 3 damage to Hulk with this entire attack. But I end up just putting some damage on Hulk, which makes him stronger, and not staggering him. And then Hulk steps on Gorgon, kills him, and steps on Black Bolt and dazes him. And I lose that side entirely. I'm losing the other side. I think that I daze King T'Challa. I actually think I dealt with King T'Challa quite well. But Gambit is kicking my butt, and Okoye is being annoying. Like, she's stealing attacks away and then hiding, and I end up Terrigenesising Okoye, but it's not enough. When I lose the left-hand side entirely, I am basically losing this game at that point. I don't think I could have come back. So I lose this game 13-18. Bryce, is there anything you want to add?
Yeah. So yeah, with that, this kind of one of the tricks to playing around Terra Genesis is trying to, and I do this. I've learned to do this just because I play against Jeff a lot. Jeff is a great Inhumans player. Fred, I've played against you a handful of times now, and I've only ever lost because of Terra Genesis twice. And the secret with Terra Genesis is if you have a model that has damage on them, just don't pick the extract up. Just put it away from the models. I made King Black Bolt go get the spider infected because I didn't want to deal with it. So just force the Inhumans player into really bad, really, really tough decisions to help keep that scoring pace down. Because we did that the last time we played Fred in that marathon game at the Invitational.
Yeah.
You cannot pick up stuff if you have damaged models in Inhumans, and I did that a couple of times in our game, and I think it helped. It sacrificed some scoring, but I was able to keep such a lead through my attrition that eventually it helped catch up. And when Terrigenesis did come up, like you said, it wasn't a big enough swing for you on that last round.
Yep. It was Okoye that I ended up dazing with Terrigenesis. So that's a 2-threat model who doesn't matter all that much. So that's not the ideal target. I would have loved to have Terrigenesis Hulk. Not that that's that would be amazing.
I think I intentionally kept an extract off Hulk that entire game.
Yep. I don't think you picked one up. Yeah. Oh well. Well, I lose this round, and Bryce won. So congratulations, Bryce, on a good win. Brad, why don't you tell us about how your second round went?
I played Josh, the Brotherhood player that Bryce played first round, and this was our first pair up, pair down of the day. So if I win this game, we are guaranteed 4 rounds, and if I lose it, there's another pair down next round. So we pull scientific samples in lockdown. I honestly don't remember which of these was whose. But I did not have priority and got to choose the number. It was 17 or 18. And I used to really like playing Sentinels at 18. What this would have done for me in this game was turn one of my Mark IVs into the Mark IV Prime. And I thought that Josh would probably get much more out of 1 point than I would. So I chose 17. And I said something to him about why I chose that, and he's like, "You're right. This is not what I wanted to play in this game." So I played the exact same list from round 1. He played Magneto, Rogue, Juggernaut, Toad, and that's it. Yeah, that's the whole list. Toad grabs a point, and a Sentinel Mark IV grabs the other side point for scientific samples. And Nimrod grabs my home point. Bastion teleports the Sentinel back towards my lockdown so that I can, at the end of the round, score the extra point. So I score 5 to his 4 this round. Magneto, I ended up having to step on a piece of terrain to get my model where I needed it to be, which gave him power. And then, of course, he was destroying terrain with, Juggernaut and stuff, which gave him more power. So I expect Rogue to come up and hurt me. And, well, maybe not hurt me, but come up, get in position, and then to Asteroid M, Magneto up. What I expected from Josh. And then he activates Magneto. He moves up, and he measures range 3 to my Sentinel, which is standing near my lockdown. He was a millimeter or 2 out. If he was in, he would have pulled my Sentinel closer so that that Rogue could wreck it, charge and wreck it, and then he would have saved Asteroid M for later in the game. But that little bit out meant that he couldn't do that. He does end up throwing some terrain, and then Asteroid M's Rogue up to punch the Sentinel a couple times and do a mutant absorption on Bastion, dazes the Sentinel and puts 2 or 3 damage on Bastion. Just real bad start to the game. But I score my 5 points, and I'm ready for the rest of the game. This game was fought on my side of the board the entire game, rotating left and right mostly. Nimrod didn't have much to do on my left side. All the action was on the right side. I dazed Magneto, turn 2, and shortly after that, and that was with just like a Sentinel, I think. And then Nimrod does get to daze Juggernaut that same round. I think I'm in a great position now. I'm up a couple points off of him. He's lost a couple models to dazes. So the next round, I go all in on trying to kill Magneto. And I just can't do it. The Sentinel does like 2 damage. And then someone else does like 3 or 4. And then he patches him up. And I'm starting from like ground zero again. And like I just cannot take him down. And so, of course, between Magneto and Rogue was a menace this whole game. And then Juggernaut came over to that side. And I had to keep teleporting Nimrod to be able to attack people. Failing to kill Magneto is just enough for Josh to turn this game around and beat me 17-11. It's heartbreaking.
Man. Yeah, the failing to take out Magneto is rough.
Yeah. I had 6 damage on him at one point. He had 2 health left, and then he got healed.
Yep, that'll happen.
Yeah.
All right, well, I think that Chance said told an anecdote that Mac from the Akron area hates patch up more than any other card in the game, and I think that's partially why.
Yeah.
He's just used to playing against Josh.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's move on to round 3. So my round 3 opponent was Mac from Pittsburgh. He played Sam. We were playing on Scrolls and on Infinity Formula, which is not ideal for me. And he was playing the exact same list he played into Brad. He played Sam, Toad, Beta Ray Bill, Black Panther, 4-threat Black Panther, and one more, Moondragon with the Mind Stone. I was playing at 17 threat, Maximus the Mad. I played Medusa, Baron Zemo, Gorgon, and Crystal. Again, Crystal should have been Karnak, but I did not have Karnak. This game was incredibly close. This was a grindy attrition battle that ended up being the case. I ended up taking out Sam relatively quickly with a couple lucky attacks. I think that I dealt a lot of damage. I think I dazed him in the beginning of round 2, and then I KO'd him near the end of round 3. I devoured Moondragon. I had Baron Zemo and Medusa on my right-hand side against Moondragon and Black Panther. And Black Panther ended up rotating, and Moondragon, she did not stand a chance against the two of them. But Beta Ray Bill was an absolute powerhouse in this game. Beta Ray Bill did so much work. He was throwing people, dazing people. At one point in round 4, he starts his turn and KOs 2 models just right away. And then he throws another model out of position. He's really, really good. I mean, hot take. Beta Ray Bill is good, but this was a case. This was a case study in why Beta Ray Bill is one of the best 4-threat models in the game. He played him very well. My opponent did. I thought that I had sewn up this game. I thought that this game was mine to lose at one point. I had taken out Moondragon, I had taken out Sam, and I had beaten up Beta Ray Bill and a bunch of other. He had Black Panther, but Black Panther was stuck on his back point. But Beta Ray Bill saved his butt, and he ends up winning this game 17-16. That is how close this one came. 17-16, and had things gone just a little differently, that would have been flipped. That score would have been flipped. But that is how the game plays. I lose this one. I lose round 3, and yeah, I'm now 1-2 in this tournament. Brad, why don't you tell us about your round 3?
All right, I play Daniel, who's been on the podcast before, from Toledo, and he plays Web Warriors, and we get he was saying that with the new scenarios, he can only find 4 he really likes, and of course I'm going to draw and choose the one he doesn't like, not telling me what it was. It was assault ships, which is one I like, and then he pulls alien ship from me, which is not super great for him either. And this is generally a pretty good matchup for Sentinels. So I was feeling pretty good going into this game. We played 17. I played the exact same list. 2 Mark IVs, Bastion, and Nimrod. I really like the Mark IVs, so I keep playing them. He plays Miles Leadership, Spectacular Spider-Man, Spider-Ham, Black Cat, Baron Zemo, and Spider-Man Noir. Just super wide list. I play Directive 1 on turn 2, and don't get as much out of it as I feel like I need. But it is what it is. In this game, first turn, I forgot about this. Bastion teleports and then double taps Baron Zemo and knocks him out. Baron Zemo dies on it has to have been round 4 because we only played 4 rounds.
Okay.
I tried to kill him the rest of the game and couldn't. It was crazy.
I mean, that's Baron Zemo. He does that. He's like a cockroach.
Part of that was sacrificing into Black Cat. I ended up doing 4 damage to her from that. He does, on all webbed up turn, daze both of my Mark IVs. This led to a Mark IV being the hero I needed him to be. He pulls Baron Zemo into range to hit him with his energy fist that blows up, and I get the wild trigger and deal 1 damage to Black Cat, killing her. At this point, that was her KO, and 1 damage to the pig, who already had 1 damage on him, and sadly only 1 damage to Baron Zemo, so he's now at 2 damage. I think is what's on him now. I roll the second attack. I get 1 damage through on Baron Zemo, and I get the trigger. This dazes the pig and leaves Baron Zemo at 1 health. I almost got everything I wanted out of it, because killing Baron Zemo would have been amazing, but not quite. I think I did no damage to Spider-Man Noir the whole game. He is a menace. He certainly did plenty of damage to me. Daniel was very good at keeping people just out of range of my guys. I did get to Nimrod moved from one point to the other, chasing Spectacular and Miles. I was a power short of being able to teleport and area blast them, because the turn before he had got to do an area attack on Nor, Zemo, and someone else. Had to have been Spectacular. Twice. I said I declared the first attack, and he's like, "Oh yeah, Nimrod has that area attack." I'm like, "He sure does." That's what finally took out Baron Zemo. But then the next, he had moved Spectacular away, and Nimrod chased him. He only got one attack on him, and like he had like 3 blocks. He had 1 damage left. He had like 3 blocks, but I had like 6 hits or something like that. Like easily killed him. And then he's like, well, I guess now's the time to recal. And he rolls his defense dice and goes, well, I only got 1, so if you've got 2, and I look at my dice and I've got 1.
Oh no.
Had 1 damage gone through there, Nimrod would have picked up the point, and I don't for sure win, but it is very hard for Daniel to win at that point. Because of this, and then him moving Spectacular Spider-Man further away, I have to do all sorts of jank trying to get the win. So like Bastion ends up teleporting a Sentinel and double moving to a different point. The Sentinel ends up pulling Nora off a point, smacks him just because he could, and moves back onto the point he got teleported off of. There was one other thing I was doing to try to squeak out a win that failed, and I don't remember what it was. And because that last, it was something like, oh, if I had killed Nor in that one attack, I win. But he had no damage on him, so there was no way that was going to happen. But I rolled the dice hoping. And then he ends up moving Miles onto the point, so to keep me from getting the point to tie him and going into another round where I probably win. So it was well played by Daniel. He definitely outplayed me. I still almost got there.
Yep. I'm sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah.
Daniel's a hell of an opponent.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Bryce, why don't you tell us about your round 3?
Absolutely. So this is just like what happened in Charleston. We get to round 3. There are 3 undefeated players left. As Brad said in round 2, he was the pair down for round 2. So there's 3 undefeateds left, and it's the same 3 undefeateds from Charleston. It's myself, it's Tom, and it's Chance. Tom and Chance get paired into each other this time instead of me getting paired into Tom. And I get paired into the pair down, which is my local Josh S. Now, Josh has not played in a tournament since the Invitational. That was, in April? So it's been 3 months. So he was playing Kang Cabal, which I have not seen on the table yet. Just not something I had an opportunity to play into. So I had absolutely no idea what to expect. But we played Wedding Party and Scrolls on 20. I've played 3 straight games at 20 Threat, which I like. I think this list really shines on 20. And I played the same 20 I played in my first round, which was First Avenger, King T, Gambit, Nick Fury Jr., and Shang-Chi. Josh played Kang, Baron Zemo, Baron Strucker, Gwenom, and Red Skull Master of the World. So he played double Baron, so double Strategic Genius, spread them out across both sides of the wedding parties. And I deployed Gambit, King T, and Shang-Chi on one wedding party with First Avenger and Nick Fury and the Grunts on the other side. What really swung this game was a really early days on Baron Zemo. Josh went and picked up the scroll on his left side, my right side first. Zemo gets pushed into range of King T with a walk. So King T walks into range 3 of Zemo, pulls him in. Now Zemo is range 3 from my deployment zone, which gives Gambit a double tap into Zemo on round 1, which puts Zemo down. So Zemo dazes in round 1, and Gambit picks up his scroll. So I go up 3 extracts to 1 on Josh. The only extract he maintains control of is Kang. And then a big part of this as well is that Zemo gets KO'd by King T in round 2. So Josh right away is in a hole because I've taken out his fastest moving piece in the entire roster. And then what happens there is Josh swings the attrition back slowly but surely, but I get up really, really big on points. And we're going into round 4. I think I'm up 13-7. And we're running low on time in the round. And Josh manages to prevent me from getting to 16. He KOs Nick Fury while I KO his Gwenom. And he also KOs my Gambit in round 4. So I have King T, First Avenger, and Shang-Chi left. And he's got a 6 health Kang, an injured Baron Strucker, and an injured Red Skull Master of the World. So we're still relatively even on threat. But because Drew comes over, he calls 2 minutes left in the round. We just don't have enough time left to start. So at the end of round 4, the game ends 15-9, and I wind up taking it from Josh. The big thing here is that Kang got pushed and stunned, and Kang's not immune to stun, which is really weird, and that really hurt Josh and his power economy because Kang was never able to spend her into any of my models. I did not give him that power. I really tried to attack Kang as little as possible in this game just to prevent him from powering up consistently. And I think that was a really big part of the game is that Josh did not get 6 of work out of Kang, and I think in the way that he wanted to. While King T and Gambit did do the 8 thread of work that they kind of need to in that matchup in order to kind of give me the attrition advantage. So I pull out the win, and we guarantee a round 4. And Tom.
Oh, well done.
Yay.
Well done, sir. So you brought up that Tom and Chance were the other undefeateds. Chance was also playing Kang. And he did that to show me and the rest of us who are Kang, let's say Kang skeptical, that Kang has legs, that he's like a useful model. I still have not played against him, so I have yet to learn that that's the case.
Kang is super interesting. Again, this is the first game I played into him. I am of the mind that Cabal is like really close. I think if Kang doesn't have Fearless, I think Cabal's really good because I think Kang plus Thanos is absolutely gross, which is probably why Kang has Fearless to begin with. But I think with a couple of the health updates, if they tweak a couple of models in Cabal, i.e., please give Mysterio a medium move AMG, please, please give the boys some love. I think Cabal is in a really, really great spot. And I think Kang's a good leader. Unlocking skulls is good.
Yeah. The leadership is good. The issue is the rest of him.
For sure.
Okay. All right. Well, let's go on to round 4. So my round 4 opponent was Savage, friend of the pod. Savage was playing an X-Force roster this time, and he played Cable, Sunspot, Spider-Man 2099, Colossus, and another model who I am forgetting. This is at 20 threat. I played at 20 threat the same thing I played into Bryce. I played Maximus the Mad, Medusa, Baron Zemo, Gorgon, and King Black Bolt. This game was and we were playing on salvaged supplies and wedding party. So there are 4 things on the table, and each one scores 2. I have never played on salvaged supplies before. It is an interesting crisis. I did not hate it. It's an interesting crisis. For those of you who don't know the rules, it is one where if you pick up the extract, you have to end your activation within range 2 of a friendly model, or you will drop the extract. So you have to buddy carry it, is kind of how I see it. It's so heavy you have to buddy carry it. This was interesting, and it led to some interesting plays. At one point, Savage wanted to run 2099 away, and he couldn't, because if he did, he would drop his salvage supplies. This game was 2099 and Colossus being impossible for me to kill. 2099 was so hard to deal with. I threw so many attacks into him, and he kept buffing the dice with Cable, and then re-rolling all of them with his ability, and then dipping out of range. 2099 is great. Like, hey, shocker! 2099 is a good model. I keep coming up with these hot takes. Yeah, 2099 was the MVP by far of this game. He was a menace to me. He was everywhere. He seemed to be attacking on both sides of the board. He carried the salvage supplies to one side of the board, so I couldn't deal with it on the side that I had most of my strength. He was just a nightmare. Cable did Cable things. I don't think Cable did anything surprising. He just did a lot of rerolls. Sunspot was fine. I mean, Sunspot was a perfectly acceptable 4-threat model. I don't think he shined, and I don't think he held him back any. I just could not deal with 2099. That was the thing that I had no solution to. And I end up losing this game 16-12. There was one round where I think he scored 8 points. I think he scored all 8 points on the field because he dazed enough of my models that I couldn't keep up with him on the wedding parties, and he held both of the salvage supplies. I did, in the last round, score 6 points to his 2, but those 2 points got him up to 16, and that won him the game. Man, oh man, this was a brutal fight, and I feel like I did not stand a chance. Savage is an excellent player. He knows exactly what he's doing, and this brought me into a 1-3 for this tournament, which is starting to become a pattern, and I don't like it. So for that reason, I am strongly considering changing my what I'm playing. I probably will not be playing Maximus the Mad in the future. I don't know if I switch to Black Bolt leadership or if I just change affiliations. I'm working it out in my head. I have not landed on anything yet. Okay, Brad, why don't you tell us about your round 4?
I played Les, who was also playing Sentinels. We got Inhumans deploy advanced weaponry. That was his. And Guardian Save Empress. That was mine. And I picked 17 threat. You're probably expecting me to say that I played the exact same list, and you're close. I played Bastion Nimrod, a Mark IV, and it was a pay to flip, so I played Omega Sentinel. He, of course, also played Omega Sentinel, but the rest of his list was very different. He played the Mark IV Prime as his leader. He also played Nimrod. And then his last model was Hawkeye. Um, I believe the first round, we each got our own stuff and scored 4-4. Of course, some people ended up in the middle of the table. Who was it? I know his. Oh, I remember what I did. I put a sentinel in between the point and the extract that's closer to the points, and picked up the extract and was contesting my point. So he couldn't like come over and steal it. I had stealing the pay to flip on my mind. He double moves Nimrod up to grab an extract and be in the middle of the table. On the other side, Bastion picked up one, and then I think it was Hawkeye picked up one. And then oh no, it wasn't. It was Omega Sentinel. He moved, paid to flip his, and then moved and picked up the extract, which was pretty cool. But my Omega Sentinel moved, paid to flip on mine and got it, and then moved again and paid to flip on his that he had nobody on, and I got it. Nimrod had flipped it and then moved off. That's how he spent his 2 power that round, which was good. It seemed like he took the Mark IV so that he could have rerolls, because he rerolled a lot of dice in this game. Unfortunately, most of those rerolls did not go through. I took out the Sentinel Mark IV with Nimrod, turn 2, dazed him. He got my Omega Sentinel at some point. I got his Omega Sentinel. And then he got my Omega Sentinel with Hawkeye. Hawkeye was great. He was placing himself range 3 and shooting my people very well. But to pick up the thing that Omega Sentinel dropped, his Mark IV, Omega Sentinel, and Hawkeye were in a perfect line, with Bastion kind of near there. So I move with Bastion. I could attack Hawkeye and decide not to, and just move again so that I'm right up against the Prime's base, with 4 power. And I was going to have priority. So my first activation was to beam all of his people, except Nimrod. I KO Hawkeye at this point. I think I left Omega Sentinel at 1 health and then did a little bit to the Mark IV maybe. And then with his second attack, he finished off Omega Sentinel, taking out half of his list. I do lose my Omega Sentinel. I think the Mark IV ended up killing her. But by then, I have 3 models to his 2. I have flipped every single point. There is no way he can get to the points on my left. And maybe all 3 of my guys, at least 2 of them, were holding extracts as well. He's got to prevent me from getting, I think, he's got to stop me at 3 different points. So he's got to like take out 2 models and do a pay to flip, or 2 pay to flips and take out a model, something like that. So he gets the pay to flip Nimrod's on. He then teleports Nimrod, but that's not close enough. So he goes to move Nimrod. And there was a crushed car that Nimrod, to be where he wanted to be, Nimrod would have had to have been half on the car and half off. Les is like trying to figure out where to put him, and I just remind him that he can't be half on the terrain. He goes, oh yeah, make sure he's off the terrain, and then has to move again. So he then rolls the pay to flip. This isn't going to matter if he gets it or not, because I don't realize this at the time, because I just don't pay attention to points. It's just after the fact I realized this one didn't matter, because he also had to either Daze or KO, whichever, the Mark IV to knock the point off of him as well to keep me from winning. But he rolls it. He doesn't get anything. He only needs one because the Mark IV is flipped. And I remind him that he got a reroll. He re-rolled it. Still doesn't get anything. And we count up points, and I'm at 17. And I really should start counting points during the game and figuring out what I need to do. Maybe I'll win more. If I know, like, the state of the game at any point during the game.
It isn't a happy surprise.
Yeah,
it's a happy surprise when you win.
Well, I knew that I had enough to win the game at that point. I just hadn't calculated how many he needed to take away from me to keep me from winning. So,
right. All right. Well, congratulations, Brad. Good job on winning your 4th round in a mirror match against Sentinel.
2-2. My Sentinels were better.
Yeah, they were better than mine. Bryce, how was your round 4?
All right. So round 4, as we've already discussed, Chance and Tom played round 3. Tom beats Chance, so I go into the finals against Tom. So just as like a little backstory for those keeping score at home, Tom's been on this podcast a lot because he wins a lot. And I'm 0-4 against Tom, having played him on the top table, or I'm going to call it top table adjacent, in 3 of the last 4 App Cup events that I've attended. So here we go again, is what I always say. And Tom is playing an Avengers Defenders list. He is playing Steve Rogers, the original core set Captain America. He's playing Sam Wilson as a flex leadership, and then he's playing Doctor Strange. No Soul Gem, which is different from like the larger meta and what they play. But he still does play portals or pentagrams of Farala. So I have absolutely no idea what Tom's going to play. When we played in Charleston, he played Steve Rogers or Captain America 1 with Ronin, Shang-Chi, and King T. And I'm like, okay, I really don't want to play into that again. So we draw Deadly Meteors and Inhuman Weapons. I lose Prio. I pick 18 Threat. That's my first mistake in this game because I drop First Avenger, Captain America Sam Wilson, Gambit, King T, and Luke Cage. Having talked about it after the game, I probably should have went Hulk here. We'll talk about that in a moment. But Tom played Doctor Strange, Blue Marvel, Echo, and King T, which might be the grossest 18 threat I've ever seen in my entire life playing MCP. I don't know if I've ever seen a better core.
That is a perfect 18 threat.
I think it might be. I really like King T, Captain America, First Avenger, and Gambit. I think the core of Blue Marvel, Doctor Strange, and Echo is far and away better. And I think Avengers are really good, personally, right now. I don't think there's many people that would disagree with that take, as cold as that is. So the way that this shakes out is I deploy King T, Sam in the middle because they're my two long movers. Captain America First Avenger goes to my right, where my home meteor point is. And then on my left, I put Luke Cage and Gambit. Tom deploys his King T directly in the middle, basically mirroring mine. And then his Blue Marvel is on his left, so my right, matched up with my Captain America First Avenger. And then he puts Doctor Strange and Echo on his left, my right, to match up with Luke Cage and Gambit. I lose first round, or like first turn, all 4 games in this event. I don't go first, I don't think. Or maybe I go first into Josh, I don't know. But I will feel like I lost first turn every time, and I'm okay with that, playing a more attrition-focused list. But Tom being 4 wide, even though he wins first turn, gets a pass. So he forces me, I put Luke Cage up, grabbing an inhuman weapon, hiding behind a size 3. He goes with his Echo, moving her up and I think bullseyeing into my Luke Cage, doing I think no damage, but she gets the power. And he flips his home point with her. I move my First Avenger up to flip my home point, and then he goes with his Blue Marvel, and he double moves Blue Marvel to my home meteor, flipping the meteor over Steve. That's the first part of the pay to flips that are going to get me. Because with meteors, when you roll your energy defense, if you roll a skull, you take a damage. I think I take a damage on my first 4 flips on meteors in this game. So I'm already behind the curve damage-wise. So then I go with Sam. Sam walks, or I'm sorry, no. He goes with Strange at some point in between that. Strange picks up an inhuman weapon, and I use King T to pull Strange further in to give Gambit a shot into him. Gambit ultimately dazes Doctor Strange, which at the time I was like, oh, it's great. I've taken his leader down. If I can, KO him the next round, I'm great. And then I make a couple of really, really dumb moves after that. I burn Assemble on round 1 to pick up an extract with Sam. I just should have double walked him. I don't really know why I did that. I think I was trying to get a push on Blue Marvel. But it round 4 is where I fall apart usually in events. Stamina is not my friend. But as we move into round 2, I forgot that Tom brought portals. And I gave Doctor Strange all the power he could ever need to play portals. So Tom deploys the portals in between his home meteor and my home meteor, giving him a full range 5 bubble to jump back and forth between. And he jumps Strange to the other side, away from Gambit and King T, and dazes Sam in 1 attack. And then heals any damage off of Blue Marvel that was there. So I'm now behind on attrition. My attrition models are on one side, his are on the other, but he has a way to pivot. I go into Echo with Gambit. Gambit fails to kill Echo. And then King T jumps, or his King T, I should say, jumps through the portal and dazes my Gambit. So now I've lost Sam and Gambit. And I also still don't have control of Prio, which is where I step on my second rake, which is where I dive King T into Echo. I take Echo out. But in the process, I expose him to Blue Marvel. He's too far away from Luke Cage for Heroes for Hire. And Blue Marvel dazes King T. So we were tied or close to tied going into round 1. I actually somehow still managed to go up on points in round 2. But I also don't have Prio because Tom went 4 wide. What happens next is one of the grossest rounds I've ever experienced playing attrition versus attrition. Blue Marvel melts King T. His King T then takes my Luke Cage out after I Step on my third rake of the game, and I send her into King T, throw him into a garbage can. Don't daze him. My Luke Cage was on 1 health, which I had forgotten about. So King T Royal Rebukes into my Luke Cage and dazes my Luke Cage on my activation. And then his King T kills Gambit. And then jumps through the portal.
Man.
So
man, oh, man.
I am down, and then his Doctor Strange kills my Sam. So I have a dazed First Avenger and a dazed Luke Cage at the end of round 3. So I look at the board state and I go, there's no way I win this game. So I concede, which is, I think, one of the first times I've ever conceded on round 3. Because I think the next turn Tom opens up with Prio still. Or no, he doesn't have Prio, but I don't have any reasonable way to actually deal with any of the models on the table. Because Doctor Strange is flipped and fully healthy, Blue Marvel's fully healthy, King T's fully healthy, and Echo is flipped and fully healthy. So I would have to push through, I don't know, 30 to 35 damage through Strange's heals, Blue Marvel's rerolls, and portal boosts, or shield boosts. So I concede, and Tom wins 9-6 on round 3. Yeah, so I'm 0-5 versus Tom. And we talked about it. I either should have played Sam Wilson's leadership, which I really strongly debated doing, or I should have played Hulk, or I should have picked 17. Everything I did in turn 0 came back to haunt me in this game, and it's one that's going to stick with me for a while. But Tom's a great player. He does everything right, and if you don't do everything right into him, you don't win.
That is a perfect encapsulation of the circumstance. Tom is one hell of a player of this game, and you should not feel bad losing into him. He is one of the best players of the game, I think. That being said, I am pretty mediocre, so I'm not someone you should listen to. But yeah, Tom is excellent at this game. So don't feel bad for losing.
Yeah. Oh no, I always learn playing Tom. That's always something I go into with that expectation. Is that I acknowledge Tom is, I mean, he is our current App Cup champion for a reason. He is a great player, and I learn something new every time I play him.
All right. Well, I'm sorry that things went so poorly for you round 4. It did sound like you had 2 dazed models versus 4 of the best killy models in the game. That's a crazy circumstance to be up against.
Yeah. It is not a situation I think I've ever found myself in before, and it's one I hope I never find myself in again.
Man, oh man. All right, well, so Tom won the tournament. So congratulations, Tom. And yeah, and this was a great event. I really enjoyed it. We'll come back to Battlegrounds in Ravenna. It's definitely a place to return to.
Absolutely. Drew is a great TO. The Brew Brawls are always such a great event. I'm happy that they have a store that can help support that area now, and give them not only the Brew Brawls, but like an actual local place to play at as well, because that is a great store.
It really is. It really is. All right. Well, before we move past, Steven, do you have any games that you want to talk about?
Fortunately, no, Fred, I don't. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. Well, let's start talking about the person that we are here to cover today. That person being Luke Cage, otherwise known as Luke Cage. I bet you could not have guessed that. His defensive stats are 4 physical, 3 energy, and 3 mystic. He has 6 stamina on the front of his card, but only 5 on the back of his card. He has a threat value of 3. He is a size 2 and a medium mover. He is on a small base, and he is affiliated with Avengers, Defenders, and the Mighty Avengers. Brad, why don't you do his attacks?
His first attack is physical Power Man Punch. It's range 2, 5 dice. Gain power equal to damage dealt, and double wild stagger. His second attack, physical Sweet Christmas. Range 3, 7 dice, cost 4. After the attack is resolved, the target character gains slow and stun special conditions. And has a wild throw, size 3 or less, after the attack was resolved, short any direction.
All right. Steven, why don't you do the first two superpowers?
Sure, we have an active superpower called Street Fighter. It will cost you 2 power. Choose an interactive feature, size 2 or less within 2, and throw it short. This superpower can be used only once per turn. A reactive called Too Dangerous to Ignore will cost you 2. When an enemy character within 2 of this character targets another allied character with an attack, this character may use the superpower. This character becomes the target of attack regardless of range or line of sight.
All right, and Bryce, why don't you finish off the card?
Yeah, absolutely. So he has an innate superpower called Unbreakable Skin. When this character would suffer damage from an enemy effect, reduce the amount suffered by 1 to a minimum of 1. And then he also has the innate superpower, Immunity Bleed.
Okay, and that is Luke Cage. So, what do we think about this guy? Bryce, what are your takes on Luke Cage?
I mean, I really don't know if we can talk about him without talking about the card that I think makes him the character that he is.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up right now.
I have it up if you want. I can read it if you'd like.
Okay, all right. Let's. It is probably an absolute key to his play pattern. Bryce, why don't you read the card?
Yeah. So his tactics card alongside Iron Fist is called Heroes for Hire. It is a reactive team tactics card. When an allied character is targeted by an attack and is within range 3 of an allied Luke Cage and or an allied Iron Fist, the allied character may spend 2 power to play this card. Place an allied Luke Cage or Iron Fist that is within range 3 of the allied character within 1 of that allied character. The placed character becomes the target of the attack. After the attack is resolved, if the placed character is not dazed and the attacking character is size 3 or less, that placed character may throw the attacking character away short.
Yeah, this is one of the best bodyguard cards in the game. It may be the best. It is. Luke Cage is the person you want to play it. Also, Luke Cage. I mean, Iron Fist is also perfectly fine. He's pretty survivable as well. But Luke Cage is tough as nails. He does not take a damage, or he reduces damage is what I meant to say. And he's got 6 and 5 is actually kind of a mediocre health pool, but it's good for 3, and with damage reduction, he's pretty survivable. And then throwing your opponent away short, so maybe you're throwing them out of range. It's really an amazing attack or an amazing effect. Bryce, I cut you off. I think I'm sorry, Bryce. What were you
going to
say?
So yeah, I think as far as I think everybody on the pod goes, I think Luke Cage, I've probably played him more than anybody else here. I don't want to say that lightly, but I have played probably 100 games of Luke Cage since he's come out. Just because by privy of playing so much Sam Wilson Captain America, Luke Cage and him are the best of friends in this game. And when Luke first came out, 6'5" was the stat line for 3 threats that you wanted to see, especially with damage reduction. So, I mean, when he came out, he was an S-tier character when he came out for sure. He maybe doesn't hold up quite as well now because he is a little slow. But man, oh man, do I still love playing Luke Cage on certain matchups. And Heroes for Hire is, I agree with you, Fred. I think it might be one of the best tactics cards in the game. It is certainly the best bodyguard card in the game, I think. Maybe Sacrifice might have it beat just by proxy of being an unaffiliated card. But he is, I think, top to bottom, one of still the best 3 threats in Avengers. I think he is probably the best 3 threat in Mighty Avengers. And he's doesn't even get taken in Defenders that much anymore, but he's still really good there as well.
I want to clarify. I think that Heroes for Hire is also unaffiliated. I think what you meant was that it was not tied to specific characters. Sacrifice.
Yeah, it's not a character specific card. Yeah. Right.
Yep. Brad, what are your thoughts here on Luke Cage?
I hate Luke Cage. Everyone should stop playing him so that I never have to deal with him ever again. Um, he seems to always be where you don't want him to be if you are trying to attack your enemy's models. Um, if if you look at him and you go, "Oh, he's far enough away, he can't bodyguard," you best not forget Heroes for Hire. And then he's in place for like the rest of the game. He just gets to hang out and make sure that the models that are more important to him don't die. And that is a great place for him to be. Um, Gosh, he's good. I I I don't know. I I I just have so much um, trauma from him saving King T over and over again when I've played Chance. I just can't imagine anyone not thinking he is amazing.
I mean, yeah. I've played a lot of Karnak with the Royal Guardians card, and there's like a similarity there here where you use Royal Guardians as a good way to get Karnak into position in the fight because it places him within range 2 of the person that he is or within range 1 of the person he is bodyguarding. And this card works the same way for Luke Cage. And Luke Cage is the same situation where to get him into position is probably his weakest point. Once he's in position, he's great. So using this is just a better circumstance than the Karnak one because you throw the opponent away and you it's the person who is being attacked who is paying the card cost, not Luke Cage himself. Luke Cage is not spending the power for this card. It's the person being attacked, which I don't. I think it's marginally better than if he were paying for it himself. I think. Steven, what are your thoughts here on Luke Cage?
Like Bryce said, he's been a staple in the game since he came out, but he might have drifted a little bit. There are circumstances where you would prefer Iron Fist to be the Heroes for Hire target, specifically with Namor, because Luke Cage could get wrecked by that, and Namor has martial artist. I mean, Danny has martial artist instead, so he might be more survivable into Namor. So keep that in mind. Second of all, I do think that this is the best bodyguard card in the game because these two do not have to pay for it. Somebody else does. Um, you know, I really like Angel's Ultimate Sacrifice card. That's a really good body card, but he's got to pay for it. So, yeah, there's not much to say. I mean, he probably needs a little bit TLC to bring him up to where the other top three threats are, because he's just under.
I think so. Do you think that if they give him 6/6 on his in his health pool, do you think that brings him up to parity, or do you think that they maybe give him 7/6?
No, 6/6 is fine. And then I think what needs to happen, his Power Man punch needs to go to a wild hit for that trigger.
No.
Yeah,
No.
I want to say, like, having stagger on a builder is tricky. That, like,
yeah, I was gonna say
it is the fact that it's on a builder. We have not mentioned this yet. I was going to bring this up next. This guy can stagger someone every once in a while, and if he gets a stagger off on a builder, that is an enormous effect. That is a crazy effect. I play a lot of Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi, it's the same likelihood. I think it may be a little bit more likely because for Shang-Chi, the triggering effect is a crit shield, and so they're both on the dice once. But if you get a crit, you get to roll another dice. Luke Cage, both of them having but Shang-Chi is more likely because he has a six dice attack. But any time that it's a builder that's giving out stagger, that's nuts. That's crazy.
Yeah, Savage is on the record as saying that he doesn't believe any characters in the game should have a stagger on a builder. I actually do tend to agree with that, just because like it is so debilitating to generate power and then take an action away from a character. I actually think they should move the stagger to his spender. Maybe make it stun and stagger on the spender. The Power Man punch can be slow or stun, whatever they want to do there. And then I think if he gets an extra health in the backside, I think he becomes very strong still. But he's the character that I don't know if they'll bring up, just because he's been such a staple for so long that they may want some other characters to take a shine.
It is tough to add hit points to this guy because he's so survivable. Like a 1 hit point increase on Luke Cage is probably worth more than a hit point increase on most other 3s in the game. Just because he reduces damage, and he's got a good defensive line. So I don't know. I don't know if they give him a buff. I don't think he needs a buff.
I hope they give him a buff.
And he doesn't need one.
I think he's on the line. He's like, he's good. He's good enough to be splashed sometimes. He's splashed in places, but he's not like a top tier 3-threat splash. Yeah, and so utility. Now that I've said all that,
he has a role.
Now that I've said everything that I just said, I think that I talked myself into thinking that he definitely does not need a buff. That's where I'm landing.
He's still a great character. It's just the other 3s that they've put out recently. I mean, you think about Echo specifically. I mean, she is just in a kind of a new class of 3s. But he and Noir, I think, share a lot of similarities, and Noir is still a great 3 as well.
Yeah. We should also talk about one of the most important things on his card, and that is that he has a taunt. He can be the guy who demands attention. Taunts are great. I play a lot of Gorgon. Gorgon has a taunt, and because of that, Gorgon is everyone's most hated model on my team. I mean, Memphis speaks horrible things about Gorgon just because he can ruin the play pattern. He can make it so you don't get to attack the person you want to attack. And Luke Cage has that same effect. And Luke Cage, it's probably better because he reduces damage. Like, I think that Luke Cage is more survivable than Gorgon is. And being more survivable means you can soak more attacks. If he draws 3 attacks in a round, that's an incredible round. That's a round where you have denied your opponent any sort of ability to do what they want to do. And, I mean, that can be game-winning. That is what he's on the table here to do. He's on the table to make it so your opponent has to deal with him before they can deal with anything else. And that's probably his most important role.
Absolutely. He's got everything I look for personally in a character. He's got displacement, he's got damage reduction, and he's got bodyguard. Or bodyguard effects.
Yep. And with the change to throws, his throw is I mean, it's only a terrain piece of size 2 or less, but that's still as good as any other piece. So he can finish off a model. Like, if there's a model that's sitting on 1 hit point, he can just spend 2 power and throw a rock at that model. And, hey, you don't have to throw an attack into them now because you did them 1 damage. I think
I beat better Brandon with that, with Luke Cage throwing a size 1 at his first Avenger to KO him to win me the game.
Yep. It's a thing. All right. Is there anything else? I think he only has that 1 tactics card. I don't think there's any other tactics card he has. Is there anything else that we should talk about while we're here? On Luke Cage? Anybody?
I don't think so.
I think that we owe Luke Cage now a letter grade. Luke Cage is great. He gets splashed. I think that I just summed him up pretty well right before this. So my thoughts are I think he's an A3 threat. I think he's an A model. He is a very good model with a great tactics card. And he is hopefully does not gain a lot of hit points in the coming changes. Bryce, what are you going to give to Luke Cage?
I think if you had asked me this a year ago, I think I would have told you he was an S tier. I do think, like, with the rise of some of the newer three threats, I do think his play patterns have been reduced. They're not even just the new three threats, but just the game has become a lot more killy. So even 6.5 doesn't hold as well as AMG has said. So for me, I think he's an A plus. I still think he is an absolute top tier three threat splash if you want it for the role that he plays. But yeah, I mean, he doesn't get played in Defenders all that much anymore, but I still think he's a staple in Avengers and for sure in Mighty Avengers. So A plus.
Okay, Brad, what are you going to give to Luke Cage?
Luke Cage has a job. He is great at that job. Probably top in his class at threat and at that job. A plus.
Okay, and Steven, what are you going to give to Luke Cage?
I'll just give him an A.
Just an A? Yeah. Okay. All right. So that is our take on Luke Cage. Brad, do you have any comic books that feature this guy?
I sure do. So the first comic I'd like to recommend from 2011 is Avengers Origin Luke Cage. This is by Adam Glass, Mike Benson, and Dalibor Talajic. This is one issue, complete origin of Luke Cage. From his childhood through his wrongful incarceration that gave him his powers. The story is the full picture of how he became the man he is today. It's like 32 pages. Very quick read.
Okay.
My next two recommendations aren't quite as quick of a read. I have Luke Cage, Hero for Hire, 1 through 49, and this is 49 issues, so different writers and different artists worked on this. Luke Cage was the first African-American character to get their own comic in the history of comics.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
He was not the first black character. That was Black Panther, but the first African-American.
Okay. I see the difference. Oh, okay.
He's not American. Black Panther's not American.
Right.
He's
Black
Wakandan.
Panther is not African American. He is Wakandan. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Luke Cage is very much a street level character, taking on things like drugs and gang violence in New York City. But that does not stop him from mixing up with some bigger names like Dr. Doom.
Oh gosh, I remember that one.
My final recommendation is Heroes for Hire, 50 through 125. This is even more issues. So various writers and artists, but neither Luke Cage nor Iron Fist were selling quite as well as Marvel wanted. So they teamed them up in this book to increase sales, and it worked wonders at the time. This was a very popular book that people continue to enjoy to this day when they go back and read it. It, along with Daredevil, really sets up most of the street level stuff in Marvel that's outside of the Spider-Man sphere. So, tons of stuff. And this, Luke and Danny are set up a business where you can hire yourself some actual superheroes to come help you save your problems. Solve your problems is what I meant to say. I've actually started reading the new universe stuff, which was like a new Marvel universe that was supposed to be more realistic, and they did that again. They have a team in that you could hire to be superheroes. It's crazy. I guess the idea worked once, they tried it again. Anyway, this is a very popular comic. If you want Luke Cage or Iron Fist, you should read this. It's old, but it's good.
Okay. All right. Well,
An absolute classic run that I love.
Yeah. It's good. It's good.
all right. Well, thank you, Brad. I guess the only thing that's left is my non sequitur recommendation. So, Luke Cage was played by Mike Coulter in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I guess in the Marvel TV universe. He played very well by Mike Coulter. I was looking through Mike Coulter's filmography, and I'm not blown away by a lot of the other stuff that he's in, if I'm to be perfectly honest. However, I think that I'm going to give a recommendation for something completely different than what I usually recommend. I'm going to recommend something dumb and stupid, and you can just turn your brain off and watch a popcorn film, and that is the Gerard Butler film Plane. This is a story of an airplane pilot and a group of people on the plane that he's flying, where they have a technical problem while flying over the Philippines, and they land on an island that is controlled by a rebellious terrorist organization. And it is a dumb action film from that point forward, and that is what Gerard Butler's bread and butter has become. And Mike Coulter plays a prisoner who's being transported on that flight, and also manages to be a very important character in the resolution of the actions of the film. It is a stupid movie. It's dumb, but it is very fun to put on and turn your brain off if that is what you're looking to do. I did enjoy this movie. This movie was the best kind of dumb fun. And I believe that it is currently streaming on Hulu, so it's pretty easy to find. And that'll be it for our show today. I want to say thank you to Bryce for joining us. Bryce, it's always great to have you on the podcast. I want to say thanks to Steven for joining us today. And thank you, Brad, for running everything. And everyone out there, thank you for listening. And let's be patient with AMG as they're working out the bugs of this character redesign that they're going through. And we'll see what happens in August. Okay. Goodbye, everybody. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your week.